Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I am Susan, your hostess, and we're in my kitchen because we're getting ready to do a hashtag slow cooker Palooza hosted by Blackberry Rock Homestead. That's Miss LouAnn. Y'all, I will put the playlist in the description box below this video. I hope that y'all will join this open collaboration that she's putting on. I think it's a great idea, and we're going to be doing something with some Cajun style smoked sausage, and this is something that we like to eat. Now if you don't like this, you can get regular kielbasa, or you can get smoked sausage, or you can get the flavored sausages. Any number of those will work perfectly in this, and we're going to do this like we do our corned beef and cabbage without all the spices and stuff. This has enough spice in it to pretty much season the whole dish. I will taste it at some point, and if I need to add salt and pepper, I'll do that. But that's really all the seasoning I will put in this, maybe some garlic. But we're going to use some cabbage. This is organic cabbage from the Amish community, and they just freshly picked it. We're going to use some potatoes. You can use red or white potatoes. These are what I had in my pantry, so that's what I'm going to be using today. Some carrots. I'm going to be using carrots today, and I'm going to be using an onion. So we're going to get this recipe done and get it into the crock pot, get it started so we can have supper tonight. Peeled and washed my carrots and my potatoes. I'm leaving the peel on. It's totally your preference. If you like them peeled, by all means peel them. I am just going to cut these into chunks. I'm going to get rid of the tips because they haven't been chipped yet, and the ends. You can slice these, dice these, however you want to cook them, but we like them in big chunks, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do 2 to 3 inch pieces. And I'm just going to toss them over here into my slow cooker crock pot. Now this recipe you can do on top of the stove as well. You don't have to have a crock pot. You just want to cook it slow and let it cook for a while until your potatoes and carrots are all done and all the flavors come together. So I start by putting in the carrots, and then I'm going to add my potatoes, my onion, and my cabbage, and then I'll put my sausage on the top. I'm going to add some water to this, enough to cover my vegetables. This is a hearty meal. You don't need anything else to go with it. It's all a one pot meal. Get those over out of the way. I always look to make sure I don't have any bad spots on my potatoes. When you buy them from the store, sometimes you'll get some that have little dark spots. Like that. And I really don't like eating that, so we get rid of that. And I am just going to quarter these. They really don't need to be any more than a quarter potato because these are large. You can cut these in chunks. It will affect your cooking time if you cut them any smaller than that. We will be cooking this on high. It's already afternoon and I've got to get this going. I got a phone call a while ago I had to take, so I couldn't get this started on time. And I should have had it done this morning, but I didn't get to it. So anyway, it's going to cook for 4 hours on high, or you can cook it for 8 hours on your low, 6 to 8 hours on low. And I'm going to get these potatoes in there. Now I have pulled out 5 of these big potatoes. Red potatoes, it's usually 5 or 6. And I'm going to be putting cabbage in here as well. So this is going to be a full crock pot when I'm done. I'm just layering everything into my crock pot as I'm talking to you. And we're going to have a good hearty meal at the end of the day. And I can move on and do some other things around my house. One thing I do want to tell you is don't ever use a green potato. Green potatoes are actually poisonous. So you don't want to use any green potatoes. So I'm just going to peel this onion. This is just a yellow onion. And you cut your onion according to how your family likes it. If you like it where it disappears into your broth, that's fine. You can cut it, you can chop it, or you can slice it, or you can leave it in big chunks, however your family likes to eat that. I always leave the root end on, because if you take that root end off, that's when you're going to start tearing up. So we're going to cut this onion in half, and I'm just going to do some slices here, right down to the root, and into my crock pot. And I'm going to cut some of this cabbage up. I don't think I'm going to fit it all into my crock pot, so we'll probably use about half of this. I'm going to get a better knife though. Cabbage can be kind of hard to cut, and so I usually start on one side of that center and just go down. And there we go. I'm going to peel off a couple of the outer leaves. I've already rinsed my cabbage and everything, and I'm just going to cut this into some chunks. And we're going to get that into our crock pot as well. And I'm going to cut off another section of this big head of cabbage. Peel off this outer leaf as well. That'll get fed to my chickens. So we're going to have approximately half of this head of cabbage in here. If you do it on top of the stove, of course you can do the whole head of cabbage, but it's just me and my husband, so we don't really need to be eating on this for days on end. So I have a full pot over here just with that cabbage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up my Cajun kielbasa, or my Cajun smoked sausage, and we're going to get that a couple of those sliced up to put in our pot as well. And I'm going to flip my cutting board over, rinse my knife off. So that package was a 3-pound package of sausage. You can use a smaller package if you want to, and I'm just going to separate these because it was one whole sausage length. And I'm just going to cut these into about 1.5 to 2 inch pieces. You can cut this as big or small as you like. If you like it sliced, slice it by all means. And that will give us plenty of meat in our cabbage, potatoes, and carrots and onion. And I'm just going to set them around on the top of this. We're going to bring that crock pot over here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in the crock pot before we get cooking. You can add chicken broth to this, or you can use water, whichever one, or even beef broth for that matter. It just is your preference as to what you want to put into this. I am a big proponent of use what you have on hand. Alright, y'all can see I have quite a packed crock pot going here. I have pulled out 8 cups of water. I may not have to use all of it, but I want to put in water so that the vegetables on the bottom begin to cook. And of course the cabbage will begin to release its juices, and the fats from the sausage will help to cook all of this down. I don't want to overfill it, but I do want to put enough water to cover those vegetables on the bottom. I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to put a towel on here over this to kind of hold that lid in place. We're going to go ahead and put this on high heat, and we're going to allow this to cook. Alright, y'all, we're going to look at our sausage, our cabbage, potatoes, carrots, and onion. I'm going to grab a spoon. I did add about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I thought it needed a little bit of salt. So there it is. I'm going to bring it in closer so you can see it. Okay, y'all. Everything is cooked. You can see that there is a broth on this now. And I moved all the sausages kind of to the side before I put the lid on there. We're going to reach down in here and look at those potatoes. Let's see if we can grab some carrots while we're down in there. A little bit of cabbage and some meat. I'll bring you over here so that you can see what I put on my plate. I'm going to cover this back up. My husband isn't home yet, so we want to keep that warm. And there is the plate. And we're going to test the carrots. They're fork tender. And the potatoes are fork tender, so we're good. And I'm going to get some butter out because I like butter on my potatoes and carrots. And this is going to be my supper tonight. Thank you, Miss LouAnn at Blackberry Rock Homestead. And I believe LouAnn's Kitchen is also participating in this as a co-host. This is an open collaboration. If you are a content creator and you want to participate in it, all you need to do is do a slow cooker recipe, upload it with a hashtag, and the hashtag is Slow Cooker Palooza. Thank you, my friends, for watching, and may you be fully blessed.